Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's reading session. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 10 entitled The Beauty of Krishna. I request all of you to please hear attentively. Towards the end of this session, I'm going to ask you some questions based on the reading, so be alert and attentive. Krishna is known as Madana Mohana because he conquers the mind of Cupid. He is also known as Madana Mohana due to his accepting the devotional service of the damsels of Vraja and rendering favors unto them. After conquering Cupid's pride, the Lord engages in the Rasa dance as the new Cupid. He is also known as Madana Mohana because of his ability to conquer the minds of women with his five arrows called form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. The pearls of the necklace which hangs about the neck of Krishna are as white as ducks, and the peacock feather which decorates his head is colored like a rainbow. His yellow garment is like lightning in the sky, and Krishna himself is like the newly arrived clouds. The gopis are like footbells on his feet, and when the cloud pours rain on the grains in the field, it appears that Krishna is nourishing the hearts of the gopis by calling down his pastime rain of mercy. Indeed, ducks fly in the sky during the rainy season, and rainbows can also be seen at that time. Krishna freely moves amongst his friends as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, and when he plays his flute, all living creatures, mobile and immobile, become overwhelmed with ecstasy. They quiver, and tears flow from their eyes. Of Krishna's various opulences, his conjugal love is the summit. He is the master of all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. And out of these, his perfect beauty is his conjugal attraction. The form of Krishna, the conjugal beauty, is eternally existent in Krishna alone, whereas his other opulences are present in his Narayana form. When Lord Chaitanya described the super excellence of Krishna's conjugal attraction, he felt transcendental ecstasy and, catching the hands of Sanatana Goswami, he began to proclaim how fortunate the damsels of Vraja were, reciting a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 44, verse 14. Gopyastapah kim acharan yadamushya roopam lavanya asamordh asamordhvamananya siddham druddhi pivati anusavabhivamam durapam ekantadhama yashasah Shriya Aishwarasya. With great penance and austerities, the damsels of Vrindavan must have under sorry. What great penance and austerities the damsels of Vrindavan must have undergone, for they are able to drink the nectar of Krishna, who is all beauty, all strength, all riches, all fame, and whose bodily luster is the center of all beauty. The body of Krishna, the ocean of the eternal beauty of youth, can be seen to move in waves of beauty. There is a whirlwind at the sound of his flute, and those waves and that whirlwind make the hearts of the gopis flutter like dry leaves on trees. And when those leaves fall down at Krishna's lotus feet, they can never rise up again. There is no beauty to compare with Krishna's, for no one possesses beauty greater than or equal to his. Since he is the origin of all incarnations, including the form of Narayana, the goddess of fortune, who is a constant companion of Narayana, gives up Narayana's association and engages herself in penance in order to gain the association of Krishna. Such is the greatness of the super excellent beauty of Krishna, the everlasting mine of all beauty. It is from that beauty that all beautiful things emanate. The attitude of the gopis is like a mirror upon which the reflection of Krishna's beauty develops at every moment. Both Krishna and the gopis increase their transcendental beauty at every moment, and there is always transcendental competition between them. No one can appreciate the beauty of Krishna by properly discharging his occupational duty or by austerities, mystic yoga, cultivation of knowledge, or by prayers. Only those who are on the transcendental platform of love of God, who out of love engage in devotional service, can appreciate the transcendental beauty of Krishna. Such beauty is the essence of all opulences and is only appreciated in Goloka Vrindavana and nowhere else. In the form of Narayana, the beauties of mercy, fame, etc. are all established by Krishna, but Krishna's gentleness and magnanimity do not exist in Narayana. They are only found in Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, greatly relishing all the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam which he was explaining to Sanatana, quoted another verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 24, verse 65. Yasyananam makara kundala charu karna bhrajat kapola subhagam swalasa hasam nityotsavam natatrupur drishabhir pibantyo naryo narascha mudita kupita nimescha. The gopis used to relish the beauty of Krishna as a ceremony of perpetual enjoyment. They enjoyed the beautiful face of Krishna, his beautiful ears with earrings, his broad forehead, and his smile. And when enjoying this sight of Krishna's beauty, they used to criticize the creator Brahma for causing their vision of Krishna to be momentarily impeded by the blinking of their eyelids. The Vedic hymn known as Kama Gayatri describes the face of Krishna as the king of all moons. In metaphorical language, there are many different moons, but they are all one in Krishna. There is the moon of his mouth, the moon of his cheeks, the moon spots of sandalwood pulp on his body, the moons of the fingertips of his hands, and the moons of the tips of his toes. In this way, there are 24 and a half moons, and Krishna is the central figure of all of them. The dancing movement of Krishna's earrings, eyes, and eyebrows is very attractive to the damsels of Vraja. Activities in devotional service increase the sense of devotional service. What else is there for two eyes to see beyond the face of Krishna? Since one cannot adequately see Krishna with only two eyes, one feels incapable and thus becomes bereaved. Such bereavement is slightly reduced when one criticizes the creative power of the Creator. The unsatiated seer of Krishna's face nonetheless laments. I do not have thousands of eyes, but only two, and these are disturbed by the movements of my eyelids. Therefore, it is to be understood that the creator of this body is not very intelligent. He is not conversant in the art of ecstasy, but is simply a prosaic creator. He does not know how to arrange things properly, so one can see only Krishna. The gopis' minds are always engaged in relishing the sweetness of Krishna's body. He is the ocean of beauty, and his beautiful face and smile and the luster of his body are all attractive to the minds of the gopis. In Krishna Karnamrita, his face, smile, and bodily luster have been described as sweet, sweeter, and sweetest. A perfect devotee of Krishna is overwhelmed by seeing the beauty of Krishna's bodily luster, his face, and smile, and he bathes in the ocean of transcendental convulsions. Before Krishna's beauty, these convulsions often continue without treatment, just as ordinary convulsions, which a physician will allow to continue, not even allowing a drink of water for relief. The devotee increasingly feels the absence of Krishna, for without him one cannot drink the nectar of his beauty. When the transcendental sound of Krishna's flute is heard, the devotee's anxiety to continue to hear that flute enables him to penetrate the covering of the material world and enter into the spiritual sky, where the transcendental sound of the flute enters into the ears of the followers of the gopis. The sound of Krishna's flute always resides within the ears of the gopis and increases their ecstasy. When it is heard, no one, no other sound can enter into their ears, and amongst their family they are not able to reply to questions properly, for all these beautiful sounds are vibrating in their ears. Thus, Lord Chaitanya explained the transcendental constitution of Krishna, his expansions, his bodily luster, and everything connected with him. In short, Lord Chaitanya explained Krishna as he is, as well as the process by which one can approach him. In this regard, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out that devotional service to Krishna is the only process by which he can be approached. This is the verdict of Vedic literature. As the sages declare, if someone inquires into Vedic literature to determine the process of transcendental realization, or if someone consults the Puranas, which are considered sister literatures, one will find that in all of them the conclusion is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the only object of worship. Krishna is the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is situated in his internal potency, which is known as Swarupa Shakti or Atma Shakti, as described in Bhagavad Gita. He expands himself in various multiple forms, and some of these are known as his personal forms, and some as his separated forms. Thus, he enjoys himself in all the spiritual planets as well as in the material universes. The expansions of his separated forms are called living entities, and these living entities are classified according to the energies of the Lord. They are divided into two classes: eternally liberated and eternally conditioned. Eternally liberated living entities never come into contact with material nature, and therefore they do not have any experience of material life. They are eternally engaged in Krishna consciousness or devotional service to the Lord, and they are counted among the associates of Krishna. Their pleasure, the only enjoyment of their life, is derived from rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna. On the other hand, those who are eternally conditioned are always divorced from the transcendental loving service of Krishna and are thus subjected to the threefold miseries of material existence. Due to the conditioned soul's eternal attitude of separation from Krishna, the spell of material energy awards him two kinds of bodily existence: the gross body, consisting of five elements, and the subtle body, consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego. Being covered by these two bodies, the conditioned soul eternally suffers the pangs of material existence, known as the threefold miseries. He is also subjected to six enemies, such as lust, anger, etc. Such is the everlasting disease of the conditioned soul. Diseased and conditioned, the living entity transmigrates throughout the universe. Sometimes he is situated in the upper planetary system, and sometimes in the lower system. In this way, he leads his diseased life. His disease can be cured only when he meets and follows the expert physician, the bona fide spiritual master. When the conditioned soul faithfully follows the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, his material disease is cured. He is promoted to the liberated stage, and he again attains to the devotional service of Krishna and goes back home, back to Godhead, back to Krishna. A conditioned living entity should become aware of his real position and should pray to the Lord. How much longer will I be under the rule of all these bodily functions, such as lust and anger? As masters of the conditioned soul, lust and anger are never merciful. Indeed, the conditioned soul will never cease rendering service to such bad masters. However, when he comes to his real consciousness or Krishna consciousness, he abandons these bad masters and approaches Krishna with a frank and open heart to achieve his shelter. At such a time, he prays to Krishna to be engaged in his transcendental loving service. In Vedic literatures, sometimes fruitive activities, mystic yoga, and the speculative search for knowledge are praised as different ways to self realization. Yet, despite such praise, in all literatures, the path of devotional service is accepted as the foremost. In other words, devotional service to Lord Krishna is the highest perfectional path to self realization, and it is recommended that it be performed directly. Fruitive activity, mystic meditation, and philosophical speculation are not direct methods of self realization. They are indirect because without devotional service, they cannot lead to the highest perfection of self realization. Indeed, all paths to self realization ultimately depend on the path of devotional service. Thus ends chapter 8 of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya entitled The Beauty of Krishna. Okay, now it's the question time. I hope all of you have heard. So I'm going to ask you a few questions based on this chapter. So if you know the answer, you can unmute and tell the answer. So the first question is, where is it mentioned that there are 24 and a half moons in Krishna, in Krishna's transcendental body? Where is it mentioned?
Kama Gayatri. Kama Gayatri.
Yes, Chetna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Kama
Correction.
Gayatri Mantra. That's the right answer. Hare Krishna.
Correction.
Good. The next question is, according to this chapter, what we read, what is the difference between Krishna and his Narayana form?
In Krishna, gentleness and magnanimity will be there, and in Narayana, it is missing.
Hmm, very good. Very nice, Mataji.
Correction.
Yes, gentleness and magnanimity, these are the two special features that are present in Krishna, which are not present in Narayana. Okay. The next question, whom did the gopis curse and why?
Can I answer,
The
Prabhu?
We can let
Hare
us give chance to
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
devotee,
No
Mataji.
problem. No.
Krishna.
Yes, Kishore. Yes, Hare Krishna.
The the creator of the eyes, indirectly Lord
Hmm.
Brahma,
Yeah, and why?
because it is not allowing to continuously take pleasure by seeing Lord Krishna due to the eyelids.
Yeah, yes, very good. So the gopis, they say that Brahma is not a very good creator because he has created eyelids, which, because of their blinking, it is obstructing their vision of Krishna. So therefore, they are unhappy with Lord Brahma. Good, very nice. Okay, the next question. Krishna's beauty, when it is described, it is said that the body of Krishna is compared to the ocean of eternal beauty of youth. Okay. And the waves in that ocean is Krishna's beauty. And when these waves, and then there is a whirlwind, the waves and the whirlwind, they make the gopis flutter like dry leaves. So, what is the whirlwind in this case?
Sound of the flute.
Yeah, very good. Whirlwind is the sound of Krishna's flute. The whirlwind, that is waves, of the sound of Krishna's flute, and the waves in the ocean, which is nothing but beauty of Krishna, both of them, they make the gopis, the hearts of the gopis, flutter like dry leaves on trees. Okay. Next question. Hmm. The next question is, complete this sentence. Complete this sentence. Krishna is an ocean of beauty, and his beautiful face and smile and luster of his body are all attractive to the minds of the gopis. In Dash, his face, smile, and bodily luster have been described as sweet, sweeter, and sweetest.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Where Hare Krishna, who is this?
Chaitanya.
Jagannath, yes. What is the
Uh,
answer?
Krishna Karnamrita.
Yes. Krishna Karnamrita, written by Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur. There it is described that Krishna's face is sweet, his smile is sweeter, and his bodily luster is the sweetest. Very good. Okay, the next question. Which, okay, what are considered to be the sisters of the Vedas?
Puranas.
Yes, Puranas is the right answer. Okay. We are currently conditioned souls. We are under the influence of material nature, material energy. We have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. So there is a recommended prayer for such conditioned souls. What is that we should pray to Krishna in our current situation? Who can answer? What prayer should we offer to Krishna?
To grant us devotional service.
No, that is not the answer.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, yes. Santushta.
Uh, Bro, I think there is a famous verse, Kamadinam Katina Kachita.
No,
So
but
the
what prayer we should offer?
so the prayer is, I have served um, um,
Mm,
all of these Arishad Vargas so much, and they have
mm,
only given more and more trouble to me. Now that I
yeah,
have come to you, please let me accept you as my master, and please engage me in your service.
yeah, that's a nice answer. But according to what is mentioned in this chapter, Srila Prabhupada writes, a conditioned living entity should become aware of his real position and should pray to the Lord in this way. How much longer will I be under the rule of all these bodily functions, such as lust and anger? That is the prayer. So we should pray to the Lord, oh Lord, how long will I continue to function under the influence of lust and anger? When will I, as you rightly said, when will I come back to you? When will I engage in your devotional service? Okay, the
Yeah,
last
yes.
question. Last question. Which are the processes of, uh, or which are the indirect methods of self realization, and why are they called indirect methods? Devotional service is the direct method of self realization. Which are the indirect methods, and why are they called indirect?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Jagannath. Yes.
So, fruitive activity, mystic meditation, and philosophical speculation. They are the
Mm-hmm.
indirect method.
Mm.
Indirect because without bhakti, devotional service, they cannot lead us to highest perfection of realization, self-realization.
Yeah, very good. So, uh, karma, jnana, and yoga. That is fruitive activity, philosophical speculation, and mystic meditation. These three are called indirect methods of self realization because without bhakti, these three methods cannot lead us to the highest perfection of self realization. which is to actually engage in loving service to the Lord. So, if we want to attain the highest perfection of of self-realization, we have to take up bhakti yoga, devotional service. So that is the answer. Very nice. Thank you. We will meet again in the next session and continue our reading. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Vishwa
Jai
Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.